Welcome to First National Bank's Coach's Corner with Tony Tone and Muscatine High School football coach Jake Mueller. Listen online at vintage931.com or on your smartphone with the free Vintage Sound app. Let's start the show.
7:53 on the dot. Vintage Sound 93.1 FM. Muskie football on the road tomorrow night. The second game of district play puts the Muskies in Burlington on the road before coming back home. Muskie head football coach Jake Mueller is right over there. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming in. I was telling you off the air that my backing up to last Friday just for a moment, my wife and kids and I went to the game, and that was my first Muskie football game personally ever. Now, I've listened to them all on the radio, but we've just, for whatever reason, we haven't made it out.
Yeah.
And and I asked you as soon as you walked in, I said, what was the name of the play that you did where Jake Musell ended up with the ball and then threw a pass for 40 yards or something, 30 yards?
Yeah.
And you said it was a double pass. I thought it was does it have a secret name? You just don't want to say it on the radio?
It has, the play has a name.
Okay. That makes sense not to say it on the radio then.
Yeah. I mean, we might use it again. We tried it last year in the playoffs against Kennedy. It just didn't work. It worked pretty well. We needed it at the time, and it helped us lead down to a touchdown. So
it threw everybody off guard in the stands. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see a center catch a ball and throw it very often, but try to use your player skills to help your team as much as you can. And I thought it would work, and thankfully it did. It
did. And Jake obviously plays baseball, and he's got an arm. So for me, I was like, oh, I just remember saying out loud, oh, yes, oh, man, come on. And then the catch, you're like, oh, this is great.
He actually has a much better arm than he showed there. So he can throw the ball down the field quite a ways.
The pass even had, it wasn't the tightest spiral, but it had a little touch to it.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
It did.
Because he didn't throw a cannon and out throw the wide receiver.
Yeah.
But in that instance, and when you practice that play, obviously, everybody's got to be a little fired up when that's about to happen, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And then who signals that in? Is that your call?
Yeah.
On the sideline?
Yeah.
Okay. So they see it and they're like, okay, oh man, it's that play. All right.
Yeah.
it's the play where Jake's going to throw the ball. Okay. All right. Let's do it. I mean, that's got to, and it totally in that moment shifted momentum for sure.
Yeah, it did. Sometimes big plays like that will do that, and that was what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And thankfully for us at the time, it did work. But we do a lot of different things, and we practice it enough to where I don't think our kids thought I don't think they got overly anxious for it.
Good.
But it worked out.
It totally did. I saw a lot of things that I liked. Again, I've listened to all the games, but seeing it firsthand is totally different. You have a great team for sure. Cedar Rapids, Washington also has a great team.
Yeah, they're
very fast. It was sort of like you're paired up. They had a little bit of size, but you're paired up well in regards to speed, tackle well. A couple calls, whatever. That's a team that hopefully. Now, would you see them down the road or no?
We could. It would have to be in the playoffs.
That's right. So eventually, you would get to.
Eventually, if we got to the quarterfinals or the semifinals, it's a team we could see. So hopefully, we do.
That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of positives, even though the end of the game didn't result in a win, but take a lot of good things away from that.
Yeah, there were definitely some good things and some things that we felt like looking back. There's a lot of areas of improvement as well. We haven't played a team anywhere near as talented as they are across the board. So that was an adjustment for us. I thought at times we matched it and at times we didn't. And so, hopefully our guys can see now when you have mistakes here and there, they really mount up against a high-quality, high-caliber team like Cedar Rapids, Washington. So it's one thing for us coaches to tell them, but when you actually experience it and see it, hopefully that kind of settles in a little bit more now.
Sometimes you make a mistake and then a team doesn't capitalize, but then when you play a team that has a strong set of skills up and down the roster, like you had said last week. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they took advantage of a lot of, and I didn't see a lot of mistakes, but you're right. Even the smallest, you let your guard down or whatever, they're on it. Yeah,
we had some times where it was 1st and 10, and then we had a false start, and it was 2nd and 10. We had another one. It was first and 20 all of a sudden.
Right.
And that stuff's hard to bounce back from. And, little mistakes happen, but you can't have them over and over again. And, the timeliness of them sometimes is really costly as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the good news is the district play just started last week, and the second game is tomorrow against Burlington. We're going to take a real short break like we usually do. We're going to come right back and preview the game tomorrow night, heard on our sister station, KWPC, the Voice of Muscatine. Hang tight, you're listening to the First National Bank Coach's Corner on Vintage Sound. Coming right back.
First National Bank is proud to sponsor the On the Money program at Muscatine High School. When the volleyball, swim, basketball, and baseball teams score big, they earn money for the Muskie Boosters. Since 1997, their hard work has earned over $55,000 in donations from First National Bank. We are also proud to sponsor the Muskie Football Red Zone. Can't make it to the game? Don't miss a minute of the excitement. Tune into AM 860 or FM 95.1 to hear the games broadcast live. Go Muskies, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to First National Bank's Coach's Corner on Vintage Sound 93.1.
7:59, just like that. First National Bank Coach's Corner with Muskie head football coach Jake Mueller. As the Muskies, now 4-1 on the 2015 season, resume district play tomorrow night, Friday, on the road at Burlington. And I didn't know this, but apparently Burlington just completed a $4 million stadium?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
$4 million.
Yeah, it looks really
Wow.
nice. I've seen pictures. I have not seen it in person yet, so really looking forward to it. They had they put field turf in. They did a new stadium as far as their stadium itself.
Yeah.
New scoreboard.
Wow.
A lot of renovations with the concessions, and sounds like it's top notch. So we're looking forward to going down there.
So it's going to be just a little better than Ottumwa last year.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Where you guys were like essentially in a shed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
in the middle of the field or whatever.
Yeah, that was different for sure.
Burlington is 1-4 on the season, and they're facing some challenges, and that's okay for us. Coming in 4-1, you said, Coach, they run an offense that is not seen that often, is putting it lightly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, especially in 4A football.
Yeah.
I've heard about it in 1A or 2A schools, and some of our coaches who have coached in those divisions have seen it before. I've never seen it. So it's going to be a challenge. Our kids have never played against an offense like it, where you've got essentially you kind of have. They don't really have a quarterback. They kind of have two guys who show their hands like they're going to take the snap, and you got people going in motion different ways, and just a lot of misdirection. And you have to play disciplined defense and be sound in your assignments and things like that. So, we've been practicing this week without a football. The last 3 days, our team defense or the scout offense hasn't even had a football. So we've just been going to assignment and making sure our guys know where to go.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Right, because, again, you can't sleep on a 1-4 team in district play that is kind of running an offense that you don't see every week. You don't want to be caught off guard because all it takes is one score. You know what I mean? Just like that.
Yeah, if you don't prepare for a team like that, they can put points on the board.
Yeah.
We're 0-1 in our district right now, so this is a game that we have to get, and so we're going to prepare our kids the very best we can, and we got to go down there and perform and play and keep improving.
So with the strange offense, is this, what do you call it, a single
wing?
Single wing, okay. Yeah. So Burlington runs a single wing, so you really don't have to watch out for quarterback. Where are their strengths then for this Burlington team? What have you identified?
They can get the ball outside on the edge pretty quickly with some kids, and just with the misdirection, your eyes can deceive you.
Sure.
Because of all the fakes and shifts that are happening, and so they try to catch you off guard and go in the wrong way. So I think the quick plays off the edge are going to be tough to stop, and then they also will have quick hitters right up the middle where they'll run the ball up the middle, but they still have all the motions going on in the backfield, so you can't get caught looking in the backfield because they'll be running right by you. So it's going to take a lot of discipline by our linebackers and secondary players, and I feel like we're going to be prepared for it.
Sure.
It's just a matter of going in there and executing.
Yeah, I mean, for your defense, something they don't see all the time, some new stuff. If anything, it better prepares you for the rest of the season because you could say we've seen it all.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, Sierra Rapids Prairie plays a similar offense. So,
Okay.
Go from never have coached the offense against the offense ever to we're going to see it twice this year. So Prairie does a little bit different, but it's a lot of the same principles and concepts that Burlington's using. So it is good preparation for later in the year as well.
So this is not related to Burlington, but you talk about discipline, and I just want to talk about special teams for a second because I'm at the game last Friday at home against Cedar Rapids Wash. And when it comes to punting or kickoffs, mainly punting though, your special teams really has to be disciplined when you're either on the kicking or receiving side. And there were some people in the crowd around us that were like, why aren't they picking up the ball? Why do they keep letting it roll? And I'm like, I don't understand that if you're punting and the offense is going to let it go, you want that ball to keep rolling. But, I mean, that is an area, special teams, that that maybe doesn't get enough attention as it deserves. You talk about having to be disciplined each game. Yeah. Littlest mistake.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
I mean, and these are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and they want to grab that ball, but you guys looked solid, I have to say, last week. So that was good for me because I always watch little things like that. I'm like, how are they lining up with the punt coverage? So talk about that just for a second, the special teams discipline.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time on special teams, and we use it as an opportunity, we feel like, to try and take advantage during the game to somehow improve our opportunity of winning the game. So we spend lots of time. We don't just put kids in there to put them in there. We got to make sure that they can get the job done.
Right.
So sometimes it's an offensive defensive starter that's in there. Sometimes it's not. But we're going to put the kids out there that we feel like can help our team be the most successful. And it is tough sometimes because, like, if you're starting a two-way starter on offense and defense, and then you're also on a special team, sometimes that's not your primary focus. But in that moment, it has to be, and you need to be locked in and focused and ready to go. So, it's a huge part of the game, and I feel like we spend quite a bit of time on it. And but every game there's big special teams plays, and we try to take advantage of those, and we had some success. We were able to make a tackle on their punter one time, and then we were able to fake a punt once as well. But there's always things on all three aspects of the game you look back and wish you would have done a little bit better.
Sure. I think that as we head into continuing this district play, obviously, again, Burlington tomorrow, and then you come back for homecoming with Ottumwa, it's really starting to shape up. And the weather this season has been crazy. And you can't really practice. I mean, last week's forecast, totally different from tomorrow. By the time kickoff happens, it's going to be a little brisk. Those hits are going to sting a little bit. Have you done anything? I mean, obviously, these kids have been playing for a few years now. They're used to starting warm and then getting cold. But how do you adapt to that in practice, if at all? Or do you can't concern yourself with it?
We don't really concern ourselves with it. Depending on how chilly it is, we might need to warm up a little bit longer. That's the one thing that we probably would do if we notice it's noticeably cooler.
Right.
But other than that, there's not a whole lot you can do. You just have to focus on your preparation and the job and the task at hand, and executing the very best that you can, knowing that there are some things that are out of your control.
For sure.
And so you can control what you can control.
Yeah.
So doing your job and the effort that you put towards it is things that you are able to control. So we try to get the kids to think that way, and if there are things that we can do better or differently as far as a warm up or anything like that, giving them a break if it's cool, more water, things like that. When it's warm, we'll try to look at those options as well.
And also, you coached in the Fog Bowl last year, so
yeah, that one was unique, man. That was weird. There's not much. There's not much you can do to prepare for that. You can't really create a fog at practice or anything like that.
It was so weird.
That was wild.
I had Jim Miller sending me pictures because I couldn't believe it, and it was. I don't even know how that happened. So you've seen it all, and bad weather, fog, and now coming into the fall. I mean, it's been football season, but this is kind of when it gets fun. And obviously, you don't have to worry about the turf tomorrow at Burlington.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, they got brand new turf down there, so that'll be fun. Fun experience. I know our kids are excited. I'm excited to go down there and see the new facility. It sounds like Burlington, the community down there, has done a great job supporting, raising the money to put a new stadium down there. So we're excited to go down there and play.
Yeah, maybe that'll set the precedent in the district. And wouldn't it be nice a few years to see something like that over here?
It would be very nice.
Yeah,
it would be very nice. We're one of the only ones in 4A right now that doesn't have field turf. So that would be nice to at some point go that direction. But
all it takes is somebody to open one of those big old checkbooks and just cut a little. Han, we got that novelty check. Hey, with all the business that we have in town, all you got to do is pull out that one check. There's your turf. But no, it is exciting to check out a new facility and to know that hopefully come away with a win in the second game of district play. Muskies 4-1 versus Burlington 1-4 tomorrow night. The game will be heard on our sister station as always, KWPC, the Voice of Muscatine. And next week is homecoming. Participating in the parade, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We will. Yeah, we always do. And
good cardio for the guys, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like a mile walk, so hopefully they can handle that.
I love it. Oh, next week is homecoming. The Muskies host Ottumwa and all the festivities to go along with it. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
First National Bank Coach's Corner with Muskie head football coach Jake Mueller as the Muskies head to Burlington tomorrow night. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock here at Vintage Sound. We're taking a short break. Hang on.